Welcome to a special presentation of Chris 6 News. This is Thomas J. Henry's Game Night South Texas, presented by Thomas J. Henry.
The 2024 Texas high school football season moments away from kicking off. You are looking live at Buccaneers Stadium in Corpus Christi as we begin the 2024 edition of Game Night South Texas with a banger. This year, a non-district matchup as the Buccaneers of Corpus Christi Miller take on the Eagles of Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Hi, everyone. We welcome you to Buccaneers Stadium. I'm Alex Del Barrio, filling in for Alan Harwell, standing alongside Lone Star Emmy Award winner Larissa Liska. We will hear from Iran Hammy on the sidelines as well. And Larissa, what a matchup to start off Game Night South Texas in 2024.
You know, the past 2 years, they've made us wait for this game till week 9, and it's always a very tough matchup. And in fact, Veterans Memorial has owned this matchup 8-2 in the series. But Miller won the game last year 15-9. It was a lot. So here's what I like about this matchup, though. They don't have the same quarterback as last season. You know, we were wondering, is he going to play? It's Billy White last year. He was 6'6". I heard the kid's already 6'8". He's got offers from Tennessee, LSU, Islanders, you name it, for basketball. And that's, I think, why he's holding out. He's only a junior quarterback, so it'll be interesting to see the starter out there tonight for the Veterans Memorial Eagles. But Miller returns practically everyone.
Yeah, when you take a look at these two teams, you're talking about Noah Andrus is going to be the new starting quarterback, who actually did start a game last year. We'll see how he pans out as the new overall starter as we're getting ready for the national anthem here at Buccaneers Stadium. But Bucks, they're thinking about 9:44. That's the amount of time left on the clock when they ended up falling to Brownsville Veterans Memorial in the regional final last year, and that's been on their mind all summer long. Now we'll send it down to the field for the presentation of our national anthem before we kick off Game Night South Texas in Week 1.
For our country and our nation's blood. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Just about ready to get things started here at Buccaneers Stadium. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew down on the sidelines, Iran Hammy. Iran?
Alex, Larissa, welcome back to football season. How great is this? I've been looking forward to this for such a long time, and what a treat do we have for Week 1. Let me show you the stadium here. Actually, we're getting a flyover right now from a couple of helicopters. Very exciting for Week 1. A little bit of a different feel down here on the sideline for this rivalry matchup between Miller and Veterans Memorial. Usually we get this one in late October. Crowd's not looking like it usually is, but action-packed tonight, I'm sure of it. The battle here will be on Miller's offensive line versus Veterans' defensive line. I think whoever comes out on top of that battle might be coming out with a win tonight. Alex, Larissa, back to you guys.
Thanks, Iran. You've got a good point there. It's so interesting for this community. This is a rivalry matchup, one where both of these teams are usually deep into the postseason, well into late November or even into December. We've known that, but this is very different territory for these two teams. You mentioned it with the Eagles. They're trying out a lot of new players. They're very young. They're still tinkering with their lineup, whereas the Buccaneers, they've got just about everybody important back and ready to make another deep run.
And with Miller this year, one thing that's unique about a lot of the CCISD teams is they dropped down to UIL 5A Division II, whereas Veterans Memorial is still in UIL 5A Division I. The difference is they have Flower Bluff in their district, but we'll talk more on that later.
All right, we're going to step aside for commerce. We'll be right back with more Game Night South Texas.
Captains for Miller Bucks, number 8, Jonas Stafford, and 15, Trevor Long, number 20, Nestor Cole, number 28, and Marcus. 11, Corey Holmes. For veterans, number 2, Christopher Vasquez. Number 3, Isaac Alden, number 5, North Bridges. And number 73, CCISD Board President Don Clark. Point toss. Board President.
I'm back here at Buccaneer Stadium again. Alex Zabario alongside Larissa Liska. Ron Hammy here as well as we get ready, and we're having the coin toss down on the field as we speak. And Larissa's, we're talking about this matchup. We're talking about two teams that are kind of feeling it a little bit different about their season. Still a lot of confidence on the Veterans Memorial side, but as we mentioned, they thought, at least going into the summer, that they would still have Billy White at quarterback. That is not the case. That's 30 touchdowns and well over 3,000 yards not in the lineup for them anymore. And Noah Endress, he's going to be taking over. He's had some playing time in his career, but not a ton back in 2023. So we will have to see how he develops here as we get the coin toss on the field. And looks like Veterans will receive after Miller elected to, as the visitors elected to defer there. So we'll see how this moves on moving forward. So Veterans Memorial getting the victory there, and will receive the opening kickoff. But Larissa, with these two teams, what do you think is the mindset right now of this Veterans Memorial team as they get ready for their season opener here?
You know, I've been talking with a few people, and they said don't underestimate the Eagles. While they have a brand new roster on this staff, they do have a lot of athletes. Charles Perry Jr., one of the top athletes in basketball on that roster. Isaiah Early, he's been a game changer out there. Zachary Smith, I remember he picked up a lot of pick sixes. So keep an eye on those guys on defense. And while they lost two of their top athletes, you know, graduating, these will be the guys that are going to be stepping up and helping that quarterback feel comfortable.
As we get ready for this one, we'll talk about Corpus Christi Miller when they have their first offensive possession, as well as the special teams will come out here for both of these squads for the opening kickoff. Doing the kicking duties will be Ryan Carmona, I beg your pardon, for Miller. The place kicker will be Christian Torres. We'll be kicking this one off here over to the Eagles Veterans Memorial. And again, this is a Corpus Christi Miller team that's thinking a lot about last year going into this one. You hope that that doesn't become too much of the focus as they focus on the matchup against their rival opponent, the Eagles.
And like I talked about, one of their athletes, Charles Perry Jr., he's back there to receive alongside his teammate, number 7, Derek Gray Jr. And here's the kick to Derek Gray. That's who I'd give it to.
It goes off the fingertips. He's grabbing it at the 1-yard line. He'll take it and run across the 15. It takes a big hit after crossing the 20, and the 21-yard line is where the Eagles will get their season started here in 2024. Again, Noah Endress, 6'2", 180 pounds, the new quarterback here for Veterans Memorial. The offensive line, Joaquin Montes, Zachary Martin, John Barton, Matt Alanis, Dylan Durbin, and a whole selection of receivers here. And the lead running back for the Eagles would be Ryan Scott coming out here. And a lot of good athletes on this Eagles team, as you've already seen in practice.
And they like to reload. You know, those guys up front are always big. They put in work in the weight room. But, you know, so is Miller. And they've got some guys that are ready to attack. So we'll see on this first play.
And they'll open things up here. It's Andrew Charlebois is there at the running back position to start this one off, and the pass from Endress falls incomplete, a little bit short on that first pass attempt.
Some good defense there. Khalil Davis from Miller was right there. He was wanting to get a pick six. I like the effort diving for it. You know, it's getting hungry early. Again, with Miller, with so many returners coming back. Again, Veterans Memorial, they can't think about that. They just have to go with the fresh start. But this Miller defense is stacked.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 here for Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Endress. 2 receivers here, and the handoff goes to Charlebois. He's going to pick up a couple of yards, but not much there. Great job of swarming from the Corpus Christi Miller defense.
84, Dominic Dennis, the senior defensive end for Miller up there getting the wrap up. They've got a long 3rd down here. Looks like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. But, you know, this is kind of what I expected from Veterans Memorial. They have to get those kinks out, work through it. And this is a rivalry game. You can never underestimate your rival.
And also, it's kind of a feeling out period. The opening drive of your season, you're not trying to show all your cards on the first drive. And again, you're working with a new starter here at quarterback. Spread things out here. 3 wide receivers. And again, it's Charlebois in the backfield at running back.
Early and Gray were in motion in the backfield.
Pass complete there. Across the 30 and pushed out of bounds. It looks like good enough for the first down as Gray able to get the reception there for the Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial Eagles.
The Veterans Memorial Eagles are always big, but they're always fast, so got to keep an eye on those guys. And I liked seeing the motion there. Like you said, they're trying to hide some of their secrets there. We've got our first down sponsored by Precision Air. Thank you so much. Another first down, this one for the Veterans Memorial Eagles.
So 10:55 to play here in the opening quarter. We got a first down. First down of the season, and that's got to do a lot for the confidence of Endress to start out his first drive as the starter. The handoff goes to Charlebois. And he gets pushed back after gaining a couple of yards, gets the forward progress to about the 37-yard line. Pickup of about 2.5. It'll be 2nd down. It's under 90 seconds gone by so far here in this week 1 matchup between the Bucks and Eagles.
The fans are still coming in, and you know, I was thinking about what Iran said at the beginning of the game. Not a lot of fans in right out the gate, but you know that being this early in the season, it's still sunny, especially on that Miller side.
Still time for them to trickle in. A little bit earlier start time at 7 o'clock, and you're gonna roll out here from Endress. He fires, he's got a man, it is caught! Down the sideline, and out of bounds inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. Charles Perry Jr. with a big-time reception there for Veterans Memorial.
C.J. Perry flexing on the sideline, coming out to coach again. One of their top athletes. He can juke, he can spin, and he almost shook off that guy for a touchdown. Great athleticism by C.J. Perry.
So Perry hoping for a big step-up year for him. At 16 receptions for 158 yards and a touchdown last season. He gets a big reception on the opening drive here, and they are inside the red zone with 9:35 to play in the opening quarter. Endress. Hand off to Charlebois, and the defense was right there. Nowhere for Charlebois to run.
You know, the receivers have some big shoes to fill with Luke Johnson, who signed. He's playing for the West Texas A&M Buffs. They're playing tonight, as well as our Javelina Hogs over in Kingsville. And then one of the other guys that was a big factor, I'm blanking on his name right now, but I just had it with me. That's why I brought it up. But he's at the Air Force right now. Two very good top talents that came out of this Veterans Memorial Eagles squad. That was Christian Sapsuk.
A loss of 2 on first down for the Eagles, so 2nd and 12 from the 16. Endress, we get Rhodes in motion here. 3 receivers, Endress looking, here comes the rush, fires, pass, complete. Rhodes got it inside the 10, and they're gonna give him the 7-yard line. Nice pickup there. Actually, they're gonna give him all the way to the 6. No, they just moved him back to the 7. I think the chain crew got a little happy there with moving a little forward an extra yard. So it'll be 3rd down and a long 2, perhaps 3 here on 3rd down for the Eagles.
This will be what we need to see. You know, Miller talked about the little things, and when you brought up 9:44, 9 minutes and 44 seconds, that's what it took for Brownsville Vets to knock them out of the playoffs. So Miller's got to do the little things and really shut them down here in the red zone.
Hand off to Charlie Boy, dives forward across the 5. He needed a little bit more than the 5 to pick up a 1st down.
Got to give credit to Miller's LaMarcus Cullen, one of the top guys to watch as well on that Miller side. You know, he's put in a lot of work over the offseason, even helped out with some football camps I saw him at. But he was one of the guys that almost wrapped him up for a big loss, got him around the ankles, but was able to slow him down.
They did give him the 1st down, so it'll be 1st and goal here for the Eagles from the 4-yard line of the Bucks. So a pretty solid opening drive here for the Eagles. As the signal comes in from the sideline for the next offensive snap.
They've got 2 receivers to the right here, but a big bunched formation on that left side.
Hendricks. Handoff again, and at least the rush defense so far for the Bucks has been pretty stout. It's when the Eagles have gone to the air that they've had a little bit of trouble, but right there stopped again was Charleboy in the backfield.
George Simmons there for the Miller Buccaneers, tight end, defensive end, plays both ways, another big guy on that Miller squad. Put his fist in the air. He was really excited to get that stop, but again, it's only 2nd down. They've got to hold the Veterans Memorial Eagles here, but it's already great seeing the Eagles march down the field. Again, like you said, take it nice and slow, those first couple of plays, but now they're already down in the red zone.
And you can start to tell that Ben Bittner's trying to control the clock as much as he can. We're already at 6:40 remaining here in the 1st quarter in the opening drive of the game. Firing to the end zone, and that pass is intercepted.
Khalil Davis for the Miller Buccaneers. Read that play the whole way.
Khalil Davis, the free safety, comes up with a huge play deep inside their own territory.
Ewald Kubota, thank you for the turnover sponsor, but I wonder if we can get an instant replay on that one, because that was just an impressive interception. Miracle Method sponsoring our replay. Let's check out that play. You know, what really helped on this was Miller was just collapsing the pocket. He had nowhere to go, and there was the interception right there for Khalil Davis. But he did have 1 receiver ready to go.
On the first play from scrimmage after the interception from the 6-yard line, you see Trevor Long returning in at quarterback, 3,767 yards last season, 58 touchdown throws last year for the Bucks. He's back. Coach was so excited talking about him when I saw him on the field earlier today. So we get the 2nd down handoff, and nice little shifty moving there, getting across the 10-yard line as Roderick Taylor. Some nice running out of the gate here for the Bucks.
Trevor Long, one of our Chris Super 6 showcase quarterbacks, 6 seniors selected to compete, and he showcased his skills very well.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 here for the Bucks. Spread it out, 4 receivers, have Taylor in the backfield. 5:50 to go here in the opening quarter. An interception.
He's looking
Khalil
for
Davis. He fires, and the pass is complete to Cook.
That's a name we haven't heard a lot of, and he's a senior on this roster. So while the Bucks did not lose a lot of starters, there are some guys that are stepping up this year and earning their spot.
Jiham Cook with the reception to pick up the 1st down, gets to the 21-yard line, and a fresh set of downs here for the Buccaneers. Pass over the middle, and it's incomplete. There was a big shove there from the quarterback, Jordan Huerta. He was looking for a flag and didn't get it. It goes down as an incompletion, be 2nd down.
Veterans Memorial's defensive coordinator always does a great job preparing for this game, Coach Wilson. He's been part of the Coastal Bend for years. I remember he started back in 3 Rivers, but he's been doing a great job here.
Pass left side complete to Corey Holmes, just across the 25 and out of bounds. In on the coverage, Ryan Carmona. for Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial.
One play we haven't seen yet, but we started seeing it more last year, was Broderick Taylor, the running back for Miller. He's not only running the ball well, but he also can be a pass catcher. 2 years ago, I remember Coach Evans said the reason Broderick isn't starting is because he didn't have as good of hands. So that was one thing he worked over the offseason 2 years ago, did very well last year, and we'll see if he can do that again this year.
Broderick, the 14-5A Division I MVP last season. Pass complete, little bubble screen action right in the middle of the field, and that's going to be another first down. Ethan Vella.
You know, he's not the tallest guy, but he's very elusive. He's very shifty, can run through the gaps, and that's kind of your guy, Ethan Vella. He's your quick check down guy, and but we do see some laundry on the field, so that might be moving back the Miller Buccaneers.
Penalty marker on the field. Our referee is John Corona. He will let us know the infraction, and it'll be a holding call against the Bucs. So this one coming back 10 yards. And it'll be another third down opportunity for them, but it's coming all the way back to the 15-yard line.
This will be a big play for the Veterans Memorial defense. Keep an eye on Roderick Taylor, number 1, and Corey Holmes, number 11. That's their deep ball threats for Trevor Long.
Long, back, rolling, firing, going deep. He's got a man wide open, diving. He's got it.
Ethan Vela. He's known for those short passes, but again, I think everybody was watching what I said. Corey Holmes and Roderick Taylor in that left. Ethan Vela wide open. All he had to do was get under that ball. It was a little short, but he was able to get under it.
What fantastic effort there from Vela to come up with the play. Big first down inside Veterans territory, all the way to the 41 for a first down. And here's Long again, looking. Long one more time. He's like, I'm going to go deep a second time.
Corey Holmes trips inside the 5.
Long incompletion. And as you mentioned there, Holmes would have been wide open if he just stayed with the route. I don't know if he got tripped up there or what.
He was looking for a call, but you know, when I was watching, I think he just tripped.
So it'll be second down. Long pass, it's caught. Some shifty running there. And once again, Ethan Vela brought down, and he's been quite involved already here, Larissa, here in the early going.
He has definitely one of the top targets. And, you know, he was one of the guys I interviewed this year and one of the guys I interviewed last year. And Justin Evans makes sure when he gives me guys to interviews, it's those guys that step up, that makes plays. And like I said, he's not the tallest guy out there, but he has great hands and great speed.
Third down and 7. They've converted on third down already on this drive. We'll see if they can do it again from the 38. Long fires over the middle. It is caught, complete. Guidry comes up with another first down for the Buccaneers, a big one, just shy of the red zone.
Guidry, just a sophomore on this roster, so Miller showing off their depth with their wide receivers.
Isaiah Guidry. It's nice to see some youngsters also involved in the offense here early, and you know, planning for the future as well. Senior heavy squad as we get another handoff here to Taylor. Taylor finds some room, takes a big hit, and then the Eagles just swarm around him to bring him down. He gets across the 20 to about the 19.
You know, I'm looking at the stands right now, and the sun is starting to go down, and so it won't be as hot out here for our fans. And you can already tell the field almost has all of the sun gone. It's just that far end zone where the sun is still hitting. So these players aren't going to be feeling that Texas heat so much.
Second down, 7 from the 19. Long. Once again, handoff. Taylor goes right, then shifts gears to the left, gets across the 15, and he's brought down at about the 14-yard line.
Broderick Taylor, he's a big back, you know, he's a power back, but right there he was able to showcase his shiftiness. It was able to juke out some of the guys and get around the ball, and that's definitely some things he's been working on at practice. He's got the cones out, ready to get in the end zone for the Bucs.
Going over your time here, Larissa and Corpus, you've seen him make some phenomenal moves in the backfield. Penalty markers down for the false start. And just about everybody wearing stripes threw their flag on the field for that one.
And that's, you know, something we expect in this week 1 game. You know, a lot of the guys are still learning. Again, a lot of the Miller guys are returners, but they're having to rebuild that chemistry and get started with new plays.
So goes to a 3rd and 7. Long, firing, pass, complete, inside the 10. It's going to be close to a first down. Not sure if he quite got there. It's Vela one more time. Chris Vasquez among those in on the coverage for the Eagles.
Vela again targeted, like you said. You know, this is one of the first games I've seen from Miller where Vela has had so many opportunities early because, again, they have so much talent on this team. But he's finding the gaps, and we'll see if he can on this first down.
They gave it to him on 8, so he was good enough for the first down. And once again, the ball goes to Taylor. And the Eagles get to him quickly.
What's been fun for Broderick, the running back, is he gets to play with his brother Roderick. Roderick, #1 for the Miller Buccaneers, a wide receiver who can play both ways. But that's what Broderick said he's really enjoyed, is just this ride with his brother.
Second and 7. Play action, pass into the flat. It's caught by Torres, and he gets close to the end zone, and he's just going to be about 1.5 yards shy of the goal line. As we're getting close to the end of this first quarter, under 2 minutes to go, both these teams have been chewing a lot of clock off.
Curious to see if Broderick goes for it, or if, you know, even we got Trevor Long keeping it in for a keeper, but it's Broderick.
Broderick gets the handoff, doesn't get there, at least no signal yet. He looks short from up here in the booth. And it'll probably be at the half-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. But Taylor, 31 rushing touchdowns last year, 4 receptions. Again, the 14-5A D1 MVP, but a step down in classification this year for Miller. We'll get to that as Taylor gets the handoff. Almost got there, and they got him stuffed.
That's Veterans Memorial's Robert Ponce there to wrap him up, and the Eagles are on fire. Great first drive on offense. Stout first drive on defense. The Eagles are showing again, do not underestimate them.
Both teams coming up with a stop on their first drive, at least both team defenses. Miller, of course, with that interception in the end zone, and just there, a turnover on downs. On the handoff there to Taylor. A lot of bending, but not breaking on defense so far in this first quarter.
Like you said, both offenses getting inside the red zone. They're getting close, but just not close enough.
We're going to step aside here in this change of possession. Back in a moment here from Buccaneer Stadium.
No,
Back at Buccaneer Stadium, Alex Zabario, Larissa Liska, Ron Hammy, our entire Chris 6 crew. Glad to have you for game night, South Texas. And pass from the 1-yard line is complete. Reception made there by Derek Gray. And both these teams having drives start deep inside their own territory.
Miller's defense ready to swarm on that one. So we'll see. We saw who dominated on Miller's offense, which was Ethan Vela, but who's going to be the guy that steps up now this second drive for the Veterans Memorial Eagles?
And already in the final minute inside this first quarter, both teams taking a lot of time off of the clock on their first drives. And it looks like the Eagles have made that a primary strategy tonight against this very tough Buck squad. Endress back to pass, rolls, lost his footing a bit, lets it fly just as he was being tripped up. He did get out of the tackle box. The pass falls incomplete.
Delson Cavanis for Miller wrapping up the quarterback in the end zone, but he was able to get that throw off. Miller just planning on blitzing and attacking this whole drive.
The clock will stop with 16 seconds remaining in the quarter. As this Miller defense trying to make another big play. Officials are having a conversation. I think there was some question on whether it could be intentional grounding, but to me, he was way out of the tackle box before he let the ball fly. There is a marker. They did wave it off.
But Miller's defense, if they do what they've done the past 2 rounds, they'll be able to force the turnover. But we'll see if, again, keep an eye on Veterans Memorial's top receivers. It's going to be Isaiah Early, Charles Perry, and Derek Gray has really stepped up. He was a name that I saw a little bit last year, but he's definitely one of their guys that's really stepped up so far in this game.
This will be 3rd down and 10. Again, 16 seconds remaining in the quarter. Now they take a timeout on the field. We'll take it with them here on Game Night South Texas. Third down, back to pass, firing longs, got a man, it's gonna fall incomplete. He was looking for Derek Gray down the sideline here, and once again, the Miller defense coming up with a stop, and they're gonna get pretty good field position for this next drive.
The first big stop of the night on 3rd down for the Miller Buccaneers, and Ethan Vela there for the punt return, proven himself to be a big playmaker for this Buccaneers squad.
So Christian Torres on the punting duties.
Very short.
But man, that one's gonna go out of bounds. And out of play, and I beg your pardon there. Appears to be Khalil Del Fiero, perhaps. Or Ryan Carmona doing the punting, and ended up going out of bounds there, so not what the Eagles wanted to see on special teams, and we said it was going to be good field position for the Bucs. It's going to be great field position now.
With this second drive, it'll be interesting to see if they still give it off to Vela as Broderick makes some moves, but again, Trevor Long, one of the top quarterbacks in the Coastal Bend, for as far as the seniors go, to be keeping an eye on this year. He also broke the Miller single-season passing touchdown record last year.
58 on the season, just dynamite numbers, and he returns again.
And he's looking for Corey.
Going deep down the right sideline, looking for Corey Holmes, and it's just a little bit too far out of his range and incomplete. And they're still working on the timing here in the week 1 part of the season. And that'll do it for the first quarter. No score, both teams with long drives just could not finish it off. We'll step aside here on Game Night South Texas.
Are you watering new grass or using a water well and need an exemption? Visit cctexas.com/conserve for more information and forms. Save water today and
Second quarter about to get underway here at Buccaneers Stadium here in Corpus Christi, here on Chris 6 Game Night South Texas. It's Trevor Long and the Buccaneers working on another drive here.
Big stuff by the Eagles defense, and one of their guys that's getting back there is that Robert Ponce, a senior for the Veterans Memorial Eagles. He's one of the guys leading the charge there. But again, that Eagles defense they're not called the Eagles for nothing. They love to swarm on that defense. That's their goal. And when you know Broderick Taylor is one of the top backs as well in the Coastal Bend, you got to keep an eye on. He was one of the guys who got a picture actually in the Dave Campbell's Texas High School Football magazine this year, so you know he's going to be a guy to watch.
Certainly a showcase player on this Miller team, the MVP of 14-5A D1 last season. Takes the handoff here on third down, and it gets wrestled to the turf just shy the 26-yard line, and that'll be fourth down and about a long 5. It looks closer to 6 to me. They've got 5 up on the scoreboard.
That was Zachary Smith on the stop, another senior for that Eagles squad. And we got to give a shout out to Leslie Hernandez, one of his mother, one of his family members. She takes a lot of great photos for those Eagles, and she does a great job out there.
So it'll be fourth down and a long 5 here for the Bucks. Just underway here with this second quarter is Long. Back to pass, plenty of time as he rolls. Fires over the middle, in and out of the hands, and incomplete. Ethan Vela, the intended target, has been making big plays all evening so far, just could not haul that one in.
And with that switching of downs, we have a precision air first down for the Veterans Memorial Eagles to see if they can make that stop turn into a touchdown for them. You know, what's interesting about this game, this has always been, I've been here 2 years, this has always been a very high-scoring game. Again, right. I said last year, I think they both had 50 points, or one had 50, one had 40. Very high-scoring, so this is very interesting to see them both still at 0 after the first quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned the all-time series. Again, Veterans actually 8-2 against Miller all-time, but last year, Miller getting the victory 59-40 in what was an absolute barn burner of a game. And again, as you know, we've talked about in the history in Coastal Bend, in recent history, both these teams are always deep into the postseason as we get a handoff here on first down. As we had another look at Noah Endress, the new quarterback, 6'2", 180. Again, coming in as Billy White, as we mentioned before, but for those just joining us, Billy White expected to come back at quarterback at the end of last season, but with all the recruiting he's getting on the basketball side, he's selected, I'm going to be basketball only. You mentioned the recruiting offers, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Nevada showing interest as well, including the local squads, UTRGV and A&M Corpus Christi around the region. So a lot of interest, but that means he's not playing football as we get the handoff here to as Charlie Boy gets wrapped up before he can pick up a first down. It'll be third down and about 3 or 4 here for the Eagles.
It was a swarm of Buccaneers lifting him up in the air, but you know, it's nice seeing a sophomore really stepping up as a Veterans Memorial running back. Again, they had a lot of spots to fill this year, so we're really learning, we're really filling these Eagles out and seeing what they're going to be able to do. Again, the Eagles are still in UIL 5A Division I, and the only area team that's also in their district is the Flower Bluff Hornets.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Coach Bittner before the game, and he felt that the battle test that they've been as a program over the years, traveling deep into the playoffs, a lot of bus rides in that regard, will help them once they start facing all those schools down in the valley as well. As Noah Endress takes off and runs, he picks up a first down. A penalty marker is down. We'll have to wait and see. And at the moment, it looks like it's coming back. Looks like we're going to have a holding call here against the Eagles. Again, a referee, John Corona. Looks like we had an illegal shift. Don't believe the referee's microphone is working.
Both teams with one penalty already, which isn't bad. Already, you know, just the start of the second quarter, only one penalty each.
So first down run is nullified here, and this one's going to come back to the 27-yard line. It'll be third down and 9 here for the Eagles. Still no score. Miller and Veterans Memorial here in season opener for both teams. Season opener for game night South Texas here on Chris 6. Endress back to pass, feeling the rush. That's intercepted. Big play there to the end zone. Touchdown. Jonas Stafford with the pick 6. Had 4 interceptions last season. Starts the season off with a touchdown on a pick 6.
That one, actually, I can't tell if it was 8 or 9, but if it was 9, it was actually George Simmons. And I got to give credit for that turnover. That's an Ewald Kubota turnover, and that's an Aztec Auto Group touchdown.
Exactly right. George Simmons is 8 and 9s. Looking pretty close. Either way, Miller already with 2 interceptions on Endress in this game. And that one just kind of got caught up in no man's land. I don't think he saw Simmons at all in the vicinity. So it ends up being a defensive touchdown to get things started. And in for the point after is Christian Torres. It is no good. So 8:47 remaining here in this first half. It's the Buccaneers 6 and the Eagles of Veterans Memorial nothing. We'll step aside here on Game Night South Texas.
Welcome back to Game Night South Texas, and it was our first touchdown of the game by the Miller Buccaneers. And on defense, again, not what we expected with all the talent coming back on offense, but we know they have another strong defense, so good to see them stepping up on defense, and I really liked that interception. Let's see if we can get that interception back up. But first, we've got the kickoff.
So big play defensively again for Miller. They intercepted Endress deep in the end zone on Veterans' first drive of the game, and then coming up with a play there, turning it into a pick 6. So the first points of the game come on defense, and now the Bucs will kick it off, and once again the Eagles will have an opportunity. And again, there's going to be some growing pains as we get the return on that right side. And it's Derek Gray Jr. on the return. Nice one there, about the 31. Let's take another look at that interception, Larissa.
Again, and keep an eye on number 9, George Simmons. It's our Miracle Method instant replay. He had some time, but again, Miller's done a great job of forcing him out of the pocket, just right into George Simmons' hand. He had some good lead blockers up front into the end zone.
He had plenty of running room as soon as he caught that. He was almost a little bit surprised. He didn't kind of take off right away. He's kind of like caught it and then looked for a second and then found the lane he was going to take.
It's not every day you get a gift right in your hands like that.
Exactly. So at 8:40 to play here until halftime, Miller working with a 6-0 lead, and they go back on defense. We'll see if they're fatigued at all, having to go right back out there. But Noah Endress, once again, coming back in. We'll see what this Eagle offense can do. And it'll be quarterback keeper there is Endress. Shifty move in there as he gets across the 40, just shy of the sticks to the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
You mentioned it earlier. I know I forgot how tall Noah is, but just watching him there, you see his head a little bit above the rest, and that's what you like to see in a quarterback, especially when you had someone like Billy White, who was 6'6" last year and could see over everybody by a long shot. So having a guy at least a little bit taller in the pocket, able to see that vision, able to get that nearly a first down there. Great job by him.
So from the 41, Endress 6'2", 180. Did get action in 7 games last year, so it's not like he's getting his first varsity playing time. As we get a big first down on a nice carry
That's a precision air first down.
Number 5 making the stop there.
Just under 8 minutes to go.
39-yard line. Eagles first and 10.
And there's the...
Again, that's a precision air first down.
Ball just shy at midfield at the 49-yard line. Anders looking over and getting the signal. 7.5 to play here until halftime. Charlotte Boy, the running back. Endress fires, just sails over the head. I think Derek Gray, it wasn't that far over his head. He just mistimed his jump.
He did. It looked like he might have hit his fingertips there. Again, still building those connections early. I know whenever I stopped by practice during two-a-days, Coach Ben Bittner said he had a quarterback battle going on. So again, both of those quarterbacks getting plenty of reps. And so that just working on those connections is going to take some time.
Anthony Winans, the backup quarterback for this game. And again, there was a lot of mystery in the community here on whether or not perhaps Billy White might change his mind, or whether or not he might decide to suit up, or maybe there was some gamesmanship as Charlotte Boy takes the handoff on second down and gets some good yardage across midfield and just shy of the 45-yard line.
Yeah, they had their running back last year, Luke Moya. He did a great job back there. So again, a question at running back, but I'm really been impressed with this sophomore that's been really stepping up, Andrew Charleboy.
You know, did get a depth chart before the game, and it had listed Ryan Scott as the starter at running back. We have not seen him at all. In fact, by the depth chart I received, Charlie Boy was going to be the third string running back, but he's been getting the majority of the carries so far today as Endress rolls out and fires, in the pass is incomplete. Kind of a late signal from the line judge there, running down the sidelines.
C.J. Perry thought he had it, really tried to dive and get it in there, but it looks like he trapped it.
So it'll be fourth down here, and the punting unit will come on for the Eagles.
Right now, Miller does not have anybody to receive this punt. There he goes. There he's dropping back. Nope. They're trying to figure out who to go, and there's Ethan Vela running from the sidelines.
So Vela.
Justin Evans not happy over there.
Some little miscommunication by the Miller special team, so they'll take a timeout with 6:27 to play. We'll step aside with them as well. 6:27 to play, 6-0 Miller here on Game Night South Texas. So after the timeout, 4th down and 6 here for the Eagles. 6:27 to play here in this first half. And some trouble with the snap. It's finally sent away there by Ryan Cormona of the Eagles. And they will just let it roll. No return here for the Bucks.
Vela making the right move there, just backing up there. But yeah, Coach Evans was not happy there with that special teams, and they just needed to regroup and get it together. And so now we'll see Miller with inside their own red zone if they can take it all the way to the house.
So the next drive here for the Bucks from their 12-yard line. Again, those 6 points came on a pick 6. was not an offensive touchdown. Pass is complete on that left side. Gained about 4 yards. It's just over 6 minutes to play here in this first half. And Alex Obarno, Larissa Liska, and Aron Hammy on the sidelines. Glad to have you with our entire Chris 6 crew here for the opening week of Game Night South Texas. Ethan Vela with the reception, finds some room, bounces outside, gets inside the numbers again, and picks up a big chunk of yards and another first down at about the 31-yard line.
That's a first down by Precision Air. Ethan Vela making more plays. Keep an eye on him. I think he's just going to keep getting the ball as long as he keeps catching them.
5.5 to play. That one into the flats, caught by Taylor. Some shifty moves, gets towards midfield and dives forward to the 50-yard stripe. Penalty marker down over by the 40-yard line. Could be a hold here against the Bucks as they are moving backwards. It is indeed a hold.
I believe that's the third penalty of the game, the second on the Miller Buccaneers. It might be the fourth penalty of the game, but you know, we haven't seen a lot of laundry yet, but the Miller Buccaneers are trying to work some things out again. We saw a little struggle there on special teams. Now they're moving back on first down.
And remember their first offensive drive, they took it all the way to the 1-yard line and could not punch it in. Taylor was stopped on a 4th down play, 4th and 1 play. Trying to get in the end zone if he can. And handoff here on first down.
Big hit by the Veterans Memorial's Eagles defense. Number 9, number 15, everybody getting in on the action. That's Lance Moya, that's Robert Pons, everybody getting in the action for the Eagles defense.
Lance Moya, one of the strong Veterans defenders coming back. 70 tackles last season, including 10 for a loss. But a nice play there to hold Taylor to just 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as we approach 4.5 to go first half. 6-0 Buccaneers looking for more. Long, fires, pass into traffic, and the pass is complete. What a play, Roderick Taylor. We've been talking about his brother the entire time, and now it's Roderick that comes up with a big play just across midfield. Another big first down here for the Bucks.
That's another Precision Air first down.
4:23. Long, looking, firing, and that pass into traffic. Double coverage there, and it falls incomplete.
One thing I was going to add on that last play is Ponce. You know, that play by Trevor Long, he thread the needle in because Ponce was right there to grab it. But like you said, Roderick Taylor was able to get the grab and get that first down. Very impressive, but Veterans Memorial right there.
So it'll be 2nd down here from the 47. Clock stop with 4:16 to go, and the handoff to Taylor. He's got a lead blocker. Now gets the first down and more. Picks up a nice chunk of yards, gets just to the 30-yard line, and another Miller first down.
Precision Air first down for the Miller Buccaneers.
Now comes all the way to the 30 here, and Larissa, now it seems like this Miller team is moving.
And it starts with Broderick Taylor, and I got to give credit to that offensive line. They are opening some big gaps for him.
Taylor again. Takes a hit at about the 30, or pardon me, the 25. Gains of about 6 yards here, so it'll be 2nd down and 4. Need to get to the 20 to pick up a first down, get in that red zone. Clock running with 3:34 remaining until halftime. Long, fires into the flats, it's Vela coming up with it. Oh, and he's brought down, the ball comes loose, and they say no, that he was down. But the ball squirted loose. They had him stripped, but I'll agree with our referee, John Corona. It looked like both legs were down.
Let's see if we can get that instant replay by Miracle Method. Thank you, Miracle Method, for bringing us a miracle. Again, I'm like you. I think his knees were down. But I like the effort by Veterans Memorial. They forced him back. Vela almost tried to do too much, but he was clearly down on that play.
And once that hip goes down, that's it. 3rd down and 5. Long, looking, just goes sidearm, picks it up. And I don't think he got there. It looked like Vela, he needed to get across the 20 to pick up a first down. The official giving him the 20-yard line. And this is very close.
This is when you pull out that white note card and measure it down. You hear the crowd in the background. The crowd is getting loud. The crowd is filling up Buccaneers Stadium. Bands are lining up in the back, ready for the halftime show.
The penalty marker down, so this one coming back. This one coming all the way back to the 35-yard line, so they'll need to pick up 15 yards now to pick up a first down as they'll repeat 3rd.
2 penalties for the Miller Buccaneers on this drive. It's been costly, but they've still moved down the field. Thanks to a heavy load from Broderick Taylor in that offensive line.
2:45 to play until halftime.
Devin Cage lined up on the left side on the offensive line.
Here's Long, plenty of time, throwing right side, double coverage, and that pass is incomplete. Penalty flag is down. Corey Holmes, the intended receiver there, nearly hauled that in, but plenty of contact all the way down. And it looks like it's going to be an automatic first down and another 15 yards for the Miller Buccaneers.
It looked like Corey was the only one looking at that ball. He had one defender behind him, one defender in front of him, and that defender in front of him was not looking at the ball at all.
So it is indeed pass interference against Veterans Memorial. And the ball will come to the 20-yard line. Fresh set of downs here for the Bucs. 2:36 to play until halftime. The game kind of slowed down a little bit on this drive as a pass into the flats to Taylor, to the 10, pushes forward, keeps it churning, gets to the end zone, and touchdown.
That is an Aztec Auto Group touchdown for Broderick Taylor. Rumbling and stumbling, and that is what he does best, just knocking over defenders, getting into the end zone for the Buccaneers.
And with 2:27 to go in the half, Miller with their first offensive touchdown of the game. Their first touchdown came on a pick 6. And Christian Torres in for the point after. Left-footed kicker puts it up. And that one is good. So again, 2:27 remaining here until halftime. And Miller pitching a shutout right now as they lead it 13-0 over the Eagles at Veterans Memorial. We'll step aside here on Game Night South Texas. Back here at Buccaneer Stadium in Corpus Christi, a 13-0 lead for the Buccaneers of Corpus Christi Miller. Here on Game Night South Texas, and Larissa, this is, I don't know if this is the game I expected. I thought we'd have a little more offense early, but both offenses have moved the ball. They've just made some mistakes on the end of those first drives to kind of get those jitters out. But Miller really in the second quarter has really shown why they're perhaps the class of the Coastal Bend right now.
especially Broderick Taylor at running back. And, you know, yeah, they battled through some penalties there on that drive, but they were able to overcome those. Got to give credit to that offensive line, and especially led by Devin Cage, one of their big linemen this year, number 70.
And kicking up in the air, and it's going to be return on that right side. And out of bounds goes Isaiah Early after a nice little return there across the 30-yard line. That'll be the 31 where the Eagles will take over with 2:23 remaining in the half. Veterans has all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Veterans Memorial, like you said earlier, they got close on that first drive, but they have been able to. They've been unable to punch it in. Let's see if they got a little bit more field position that last drive. They were really far back there, so let's see if they can make it count on this one.
The Eagles. They, along with Flower Bluff, the only 2 Coastal Bend schools to stay at the 5A D1 level. Everybody else here at CCISD moving down to 5A D2, including the Miller Buccaneers. Talking with Coach Evans before the game, he's like, I finally think we are where we belong classification-wise. And he started giving me examples of, we've only got, 50, 60, maybe tops on our sideline, and you look at the other end at some of the opponents we play deep in the playoffs, and they've got a lot bigger, palette to choose from there. And he says, I think this is where we need to be to finally show all of Texas where we should be, and that's standing in Arlington sometime.
And that, dropping down, that can be the same said for Carroll, King, Ray, and Moody. I know they were all very excited to be in UIL 5A Division II. And in that Corpus Christi ISD mix, you also add the Gregory Portland Wildcats, who remained in UIL 5A Division II. Their rivals in district have always been the Flower Bluff Hornets. We unfortunately don't get that little rivalry we've had the past couple of years, but it'll be exciting to see where they match up. They don't play Miller until later in the season, but that'll be a fun one, I believe, week 10.
And a lot of great matchups the rest of the way here.
Especially Miller, they've got DeSoto week 3. That'll be a fun one at the Alamo Dome on a Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was one of the things, looking at their schedule coming up. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but they get Cuero as well. Some really tough opponents, and Endress gets hammered as he lets that ball fly. He was looking over to Rhodes.
That was LaMarcus Cullum from Miller putting on the pressure. But I'll say this, it was a great handoff fake by Endress, because I was actually watching Charleboy on that one, and I didn't see him get the ball. So I like the play calling. I like Ben Bittner giving him the challenge and seeing what he can do with it.
Clock stop with 2:18 to play in the half. 2nd down and 10 to go. And see what they do here. I think, in my estimation, expect a run here. You want to kind of keep the clock moving and not give Miller another chance with 2 timeouts left to have the ball again. As the run does come.
He's not going down.
He's not going down. He keeps going. They haven't been able to stop him. And picking up a 1st down. What a play.
A precision air 1st down for Charleboy. Great seeing that sophomore ground and pound, stay on his feet. And again, he's only a sophomore, so he's just getting more and more experience. And what a great start against the Miller Buccaneers. And Veterans Memorial does not have many non-district opponents. I believe it's only week 1 and week 2. Then they already will have district coming up. They've got a big 9-10 team district. So every game they will be playing almost here on out is going to be determined for that district title.
And some of the teams that Veterans Memorial was used to playing in the playoffs from down in the valley are now in their district, the PSG Norths and Harlingen Souths of the world. Charleboy getting the handoff. This time they've got him smothered, and they've got him down at the 45-yard line after a 1-yard pickup.
Delson Cavan is from Miller, one of the guys out there to get the tackle first, but again, it was a swarm of Bucks. They've been doing a great job up front of forcing Endress to get out of the pocket, just collapsing together and stopping the ball.
2nd down and 9 as we're getting close to the 1-minute mark. We'll see how Coach Bittner elects to use his final stretch of the half. 3 receivers on that right side here for Endress. Low snap once again. Charleboy with the handoff. He gets tripped up before he can get to midfield and gets to about the 49-yard line. And now Corpus Christi Miller will take a timeout. With 52 seconds remaining in the half. Kind of a opportunity here for Coach Evans to potentially get the ball back if they can get a stop here on 3rd down and still have a timeout left potentially.
Plenty of time left, and with this third and medium, I guess Charlotte Boy, you think will get the ball, or what are your thoughts?
I would guess they would try to keep the ball moving. The problem is Miller still has a timeout remaining, so they can stop the clock again if there is a stop. And Charlotte Boy seems to be your consistent offensive player right now, and I would think get it to him in some way, whether you get it to him on a screen or you get it to him just with a run. But this is a big play here for the Veterans Memorial offense. And the main focus should just be not giving the Bucs the ball back with a significant amount of time to try to get some more points before the half.
Again, we haven't seen it much, but they can air it out. That's what Miller is known for. Again, you said the yardage. Trevor Long has over 3,000. He can throw that deep ball.
So coming out of the timeout here at 3rd down and 5. And the 49 clock is stopped with 52 seconds left. They'll put a man in motion in Rhodes. Endress out of the gun, takes the snap, fires quickly, left side, a pass is complete. Isaiah Early comes up with it, and that's gonna be good enough for a 1st down, and that is a huge play there for the Eagles.
A precision air 1st down for the Veterans Memorial Eagles, and that's what I think the Eagles need to take advantage of. They need to take advantage of the sideline because Miller's done a great job up the middle, stopping the run game, even though Charlotte Boyd's been able to get some big chunk yards. They've just done a great job of swarming and collapsing that pocket. So if they can try to take advantage of those edges, I think that's where Veterans Memorial can maybe get a touchdown here before halftime.
So from the 43, 47 seconds remaining, clock is stopped. So great opportunity here on offense for the Eagles. They still have 2 timeouts remaining themselves should they elect to use them. They are showing a rush. Endress eludes it, steps up, he's wrapped up, and that's going to be a whistle blown as he'll
LaMarcus Cullum, number 28 for the Miller Buccaneers, wrapping him up early. I don't know if I'm going to stop saying that name now and all season. He is one of the guys that's been leading this defense. He's got good vision, and again, his name's going to be said all season. Keep an eye on LaMarcus Cullum.
Charlotte Boy showing kind of a little frustration there because they're electing to take all this time off of the clock. They'll probably not run a play. If they do, it's going to be the final one with 7 seconds remaining. And Charlotte Boy won't get the handoff. It'll be Endress passing into the flats and firing over to Rhodes as the clock hits 0. It wasn't going to be good enough for a 1st down anyway, but they just take all the time off. Don't let Miller get the ball back. And probably the smart move at this stage of the game. And after 24 minutes of action here at Buccaneer Stadium, it's the Bucs 13 and Veterans Memorial nothing here on Game Night South Texas on Chris 6.
Welcome back to Game Night South Texas, and we start with our halftime show sponsored by Truckers Equipment. Both bands lining up and getting ready. I know they've been eager and excited. One of their first halftime shows this season with Week 1. And I'm trying to see which team looks like they're going to go first. It looks like both sides are lined up, but it looks like Miller is coming in the purple and black. Marching in around the 30-yard line there. It's always great watching these halftime performances. I always like seeing what theme they go with, what songs they choose, and they always do a fantastic job. But, you know, if you asked me, Alex, if it was going to be 13-0 at halftime, I don't think I would have bet on it.
Yeah, and, you know, I was thinking about this matchup on the way up here, and, of course, as we were prepping for this game, and, you know, you think about the history. You have nothing to go on in a Week 1 matchup other than what these teams did last year and then looking at who's coming back. And when you look at the picture that, you know, Miller has a ton of players, a ton of talent, especially at quarterback and at running back, returning from a team that was really 944 away from getting to the state Final Four. It was a situation where you think about it and you think, well, this team is on a mission. This team is going to want to make an impact early. And then you look on the other side, a team that lost a lot of talent, which they're used to doing at veterans and just retooling every year. So you're not worried about them in the matchup, but you're worried about them in a rivalry matchup like this and whether or not they're going to be able to make that same impact, but also try to hold some stuff back, considering it's not for a district title. It's not for even a district win. It's just a Week 1 matchup to them, but there's still always going to be that hint of rivalry.
Exactly. Now let's hand it off to the Miller Buccaneers band.
For the first part of tonight's entertainment, we have the 2024-2025 Grand Champion Roy Miller High Stepper. Officers are Captain Ben Estrada, Major Natalie Garza, Colonel Ariel Bruce, and your High Stepper of the Week is Angel Molina. The High Steppers are under the direction of Dana Bernal, Principal of Miller Metro High School, Sandy Salinas de Leon. The High Steppers will be performing a palm routine to Runaway Baby, played by the Battling Buck Band. Enjoy the performance.
And our band break sponsor, the Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And now, get ready, because it's time for your Battling Buck Band!
The band is under the direction of Brian Hunt, Nadia Torres, Keith Collins, and Josh Shillings. Tonight, the band will be performing the first movement of their UIL marching show titled, I Believe. The Roy Miller High School Battle and Buck Band is led by drum majors Adriana Torres and Isabel Garcia. The section of the week is the saxophone section. Your band student of the week is Joseph Bettis. Soloist for our show, Joseph Bettis, Alberto Martinez, and Devin Moore. Enjoy the show. Let's hear it for the band.
Right, we're going to step aside here. Still at halftime at Buccaneers Stadium. Miller leading at 13-0 here on Game Night South Texas. back here at Buccaneers Stadium here in Corpus Christi, Game Night South Texas, Week 1 here on Chris 6. And tonight's man break is brought to you by Texas A&M. Corpus Christi, 13-0 our score as Miller leads it over Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. We're getting ready for the Veterans Memorial Band to take the field here in just a moment. It's been all Miller so far in this game. Marcus Mario, Liska, our entire Chris 6 crew. Glad to have you with us. Week 1 matchup, rivalry matchup between the Bucks and the Eagles. Miller with a couple of touchdowns, one on a pick 6, the other on a late touchdown at the end of the second quarter. Two teams that used to be in the same district now are non-district foes, like being in the same school district. We'll have this matchup in week 1 rather than much later on in the season. At this time, we'll send it down to the field and get ready for the Eagle Band of Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial High School on tonight's band break.
Veterans Memorial High School is proud to present for your halftime entertainment the beautiful Starline Dance Team, accompanied by the Screaming Eagle Band. The Starline Dance Team is being led on the field by Captain Bella Giesses, Captain Avery Tackett, Captain Melody Medrano, Major Olivia Alaman, Major Emily Mujual, Colonel Angelina Garcia, Starline Social Officers, President Maggie Comstock, Vice President Marissa Serrata, Social Company Elena Redondo, Deandra Gonzalez, and Emery Tackett. The Star of the Week, Miley Baca, and Spirit Girl of the Week, Olivia Longoria. Starline's under direction of Director Jade Remark. Now, for your entertainment, Starline will perform their traditional kick routine to Give Me Everything. To continue your halftime entertainment, Veterans Memorial High School is proud to present the pride of the South Side, the toast of the Texas Gulf Coast, your Veterans Memorial High School Screaming Eagle Band. The Screaming Eagle Band is under the direction of drum majors Hanukkah Cuellar and Bailey Mills. This evening, the band will be performing a portion of their show entitled How to Survive in Zombie Apocalypse.
Band break sponsor, Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, showing off the Veterans Memorial Eagles Band.
everyone in the CCISD community for their continued support. We hope everyone is having a wonderful time, and please enjoy the rest of the game. Go Eagles!
A great performance by both the Veterans Memorial Eagles and Miller Buccaneers bands. Now stay with us because the second half is almost here. We're going to our timeout.
Still at halftime here at Buccaneers Stadium in Corpus Christi. It's a 13-0 lead for the Buccaneers of Miller High School over the Eagles of Veterans Memorial. Alex Martin, glad to have you aboard here on Game Night South Texas. Take a look at some of the first half highlights here. And again, it was a defensive struggle early here, Larissa, as we take a look at these highlights brought to you by Miracle Method. Surface refinishing here, and this is where it started. First drive of the game here for Corpus Christi Veterans, and ended up in an interception for Miller.
Khalil Davis making that big play there. Now let's see one of our other top plays again. A defensive battle early, but this time Veterans Memorial with the ball, and he has nowhere to go but a pick six. Again, that's George Simmons, and he had room to run. Great pass blocking ahead by the Buccaneers.
Anything you can do, I can do better, says the Miller Buccaneers. And then talking about offensive touchdowns here, Justin Long just doing Justin Long things, working it into the flats here to Roderick Taylor, and he ended up getting the touchdown. He did that a ton last year. In fact, 31 times rushing, 4 through the air. Comes up with a reception there. Halftime sponsor, Truckers Equipment here, Larissa, and just a tremendous effort all the way around, especially in that second quarter from Corpus Christi.
Exactly, and again, I thought it would be a little bit higher scoring, but the Vets defense is showing a full force as well, so excited to see what Ben Bittner brings out in that second half.
Veterans looking to rebound. They trail it 13-0. We'll step aside for the final time. Second half coming your way next here on Game Night South Texas. Buccaneers Stadium here in Corpus Christi. Alex Barr, Larissa Liska, Ron, Amy, our entire Chris 6 crew here. It's a 13-0 halftime score with Miller Bucks leading the Veterans Memorial Eagles again. I don't necessarily think I'm surprised. I think I'm more in a sense of almost kind of concern a little bit from Veterans Memorial that they weren't able to do a little bit more, because it's not like it's a large spread here, Larissa. I mean, it's still 13-0. I think their defense has made some plays. I just think they haven't been able to put together a full offensive drive, and I think that's been their biggest hiccup.
And like you said, in that first drive, they got so close inside the red zone, just showed so much great potential. And I think they're putting all the weight on a sophomore's shoulders in Charlevoix. You haven't really seen many other guys stepping up on defense. They've done a good job, but if the offense can't get their wheels turning, the defense can only stop Miller so much, because Miller does have a lot of power, a lot of returners, experience, where they're able to, once you start getting tired, they can shove it down your throat. There's Ben Bittner in the huddle with his Veterans Memorial Eagles. Again, he's been there a very long time leading these Eagles. He's seen the ups, he's seen the downs, he's seen the good years. He saw them play in the Alamo Dome 2 years ago in the playoffs, so he knows what it takes to get these Eagles ready to go.
And his fourth season as the head coach, 32-9 his record as the head coach. They were 8-4 last year, 12-3 in 22, 12-2 in 2021. So when he's been on the sidelines, the Eagles have won, and they've won a lot of games. And hoping to do the same, but again, a retooled both offense and defense, and working in a new quarterback after getting word late. I mean, I had to ask the question about the quarterback situation. Kind of, when did you know, Coach? And he kind of straight away did not want to answer. I said, okay, well, tell me about Noah a little bit here and what you expect out of him. And he's like, look, he's gotten some playing time before. Obviously, the spotlight is a little bit brighter now. But it's a situation where we'll see what he can do, throw him out there. So we're always tinkering, always figuring things out. We'll see how it goes. As the second half kickoff will go all the way into the end zone, and we're going to kneel down, and it's going to come out here. And the Miller offense will have another opportunity to tack on to their lead.
We haven't seen Veterans Memorial kicking off very often this game, like you said, because they haven't been able to punch it in yet. So I was curious who was going to be returning, but they have a very solid kicker with that touchback. Now, will it be Broderick Taylor making his moves again? You have to assume he's probably a little tired, but it's interesting seeing, last time Corey Holmes kind of took some snaps in the backfield. He's a very just elusive wide receiver. And it's funny I bring that up, and now he's in the backfield along with Trevor Long. So I thought, is it going to be Broderick Taylor again? Because he's probably getting tired out there today in week 1.
Trevor Long. And whistles here on first down. Penalty marker down. We heard it there from John Corona. So this one coming back 5 yards.
Not a great start for the Miller Buccaneers, but again, we do have a new running back out there.
And I think, and it is Corey Holmes out there.
Yes.
The one thing I could take away from Miller so far in this game in terms of mistakes has been the penalties. As we see a nice little run here from Holmes on first down, gets it back to past the original line of scrimmage, and got a little bit more than that. It takes it just shy of the 30-yard line. So a gain of about 7 or 8 there, and it'll be second down.
One thing about Corey versus Broderick, again, Broderick's that power back that can run people over, but Roderick is very athletic.
On a play action, firing left side, Roderick Taylor with the reception, and it's going to good enough for a first down. I didn't even see him step out of bounds. They had him tangled up there. Never saw him actually step on the white, but they called him out of bounds after picking up the first.
Maybe playing it safe there again. I'm like you, I didn't see it go out of bounds, but you had 3 guys kind of wrapping him up, twisting him around. He was ready to take off.
Certainly was. So it'll be on the 36-yard line. Miller continues to drive. Buccaneers, and just one loss last year, and that came to the regional final, in which they had a big lead on Brownsville Veterans Memorial down at Sam Stadium in Brownsville. They had their eyes set on a date with Smithson Valley in the state semifinal, and then just kind of a miraculous comeback from the Chargers. And Miller's been thinking about that game all summer long. 944 has been printed on t-shirts and just about everywhere you can think of, and that's been the mantra. 944. That was what stood in our way from getting to the state semis. They want to get back there. They got to take care of business week in and week out. Here on first down from the 49. Handoff. Take a hit. Bounce outside to the 35, 30, and he's off to the races. Touchdown, Bucks. Corey Holmes off to the races.
51 yards, that's an Aztec Auto Group touchdown. Again, like I said, Corey Holmes, one thing that makes him unique is his elusiveness, his speed. Very athletic running back. And I was actually surprised they didn't mix him in more in the first half, you know.
Right.
But I think because it's week one, they really want to test out Broderick Taylor, really want to see his stamina. What can they bring when they need that big guy when they play DeSoto week 3, the two-time 6A defending state champion. But with Broderick Taylor, if they start mixing those guys in more throughout the season, I think that can be a great combo for the Miller Buccaneers.
Christian Torres in for the point after. Missed one earlier, kicked the next two through, including that one there. 20-0 our score. Miller leading Corpus Christi Veterans with 10:45 remaining in the third. We'll step aside here on Game Night South Texas. Back on Game Night South Texas here at Buck Stadium. It's now 20-0 Bucks over the Eagles. Miller versus Veterans Memorial.
Miller showing off their speed with Corey Holmes, the talent that stood out last year, and he's taken off again. Corey Holmes is a senior this year. He plays all over the field, wide receiver, running back, defensive back, and he's a very kind-hearted guy when you interview him. Just wants to be part of the Buccaneers and be a part of this team.
And a little miscue there on the return. And scooped up. Now running left side. Not a lot of real estate there for Derek Gray to go after not being able to hold on to it. So he'll get stopped at the 10, and that's where the Eagles will take over. Let's take another look at that touchdown.
Our miracle method, surface finishing replay. And there goes Corey. I mean, again, wide open gap, but you also have to give credit to the linemen. See, number 70 there blocking the entire way down. That is Devin Cage opening the gap for Corey Holmes. Devin Cage is definitely going to be getting some college offers this year. He's been putting in that work. He's been standing out, and a big part of that Miller offensive line opening the gap for Corey Holmes.
10:35 to play here in this third quarter. Miller scoring on their opening drive of the half. So now an opportunity here for the Eagles to try to get something going, and not much there. That one going to fall incomplete as Endress
sniffed out by Jonah Stafford for the Miller Buccaneers. You know, I like what they've been doing. They've been testing out their fakes, you know, them throwing off the pass. They're really trying to figure out what works, and if you're going to be testing that, the Miller Buccaneers are a great test every year. Yeah,
there's a lot of nuances to this Eagle offense, and when you're working with somebody new, especially when you've had a competition, you know, Coach was also mentioning to me, you know, that they didn't really get a true preseason. The school started when they got their first practice, so the kids have already been in school. It's not like, you know, some of the other schools that around the state that may have started the following week. So the kids were already kind of not distracted with school. School's important, but in terms of having the entire focus on preparing for the season for 1 week, they did not get. But nice piece of offense here from Charlie Boy.
And if I remember correctly, too, the Veterans Memorial Eagles played spring ball, so then that's another week back. They had to start versus some of the other schools like Miller, who started on day 1, August 5th.
But a spring in which Billy White was still their quarterback.
Exactly, because I remember he was playing 7-on-7. He was getting some passes off.
So you're looking in almost the entire summer expecting one thing from your quarterback position and ultimately getting another. 3rd down and 1. Charlotte Boy wrapped up. Ball comes loose. It's a fumble. And Miller says they have it. And they do.
Believe that was number 22, Donovan Christian. That is an Ewald Kubota turnover for the Miller Buccaneers. They were all over that one. I mean, I can't really tell who got it, but I just saw the ball come out. He coughed it up, and the Buccaneers swarmed.
Yeah, that one squirted out. Nelson Cavanis, I believe, was one of the players kind of involved in the hit there on Charlie Boy, where the ball squirted loose. But after that, Miller just able to smother it, get it. And now they have the ball up 20-0 on the 21-yard line of the Eagles. And Trevor Long back out there trying to get some more points as Taylor back in the game at running back. Takes the handoff across the 20. They get it inside the red zone. And he's brought down just shy of the 15. They're going to say the 17-yard line.
And this is Broderick Taylor's bread and butter. You know, like you said, it was just outside the 20. Now they're inside the 20. All they have to do is ground and pound and get into that end zone.
It's about a 3.5-yard pickup on 1st down. So 2nd down and a long 6. Back to pass towards the end zone. Just a little bit too far there.
Pass intended for Roderick Taylor, you know, one of their taller receivers out there. He outstretched his hand. If he was able to grab that, that would have been an incredible touchdown catch.
So Matt makes it 3rd down. Handoff, Taylor from the 15. Takes a hit, still churning, but not able to get more positive yardage. They had him wrapped up and moving horizontally.
Veterans Memorial saying, no, sir, not today, number 9. And on that one, Lance Moya.
So stopped at the 15-yard line, so it'll be 4th down and really a long 3. You need to get across the 12.
Miller had a 4th down opportunity in the first half, and they failed to convert on that one. I believe that one was in the red zone as well. So we'll see how they do. A good test early right here.
On 4th down, bubble screen, pass complete. Holmes got it, gets inside the 10. That's good enough for another Buccaneer 1st down as they'll stop him at the 9.
A 1st down sponsored by Precision Air. And, you know, when you look at that play, one of the offensive linemen that were out there blocking for Corey Holmes was number 71, Isaiah Parado. He's also a senior offensive lineman. Any of those guys, if they can get out there, and I know it's tough for those big guys, they really give the Miller Bucks that extra yardage.
8:05 to play and counting here in the 3rd. Long, back, fires left side. He's got a man, it's caught. Another Miller touchdown. And the Buccaneers have been putting it on the Eagles tonight.
Ethan Vela finally getting in there for that Aztec Auto Group touchdown. Vela has been putting in work all night, so to finally see him get credit. But there is some laundry on the field on the near side.
Penalty flags down in the end zone on the opposite side of the field from where the touchdown was caught. So there's some conversation now with our official, John Corona, coming over talking to Coach Bittner. It appears to be offsetting penalties. I beg your pardon, no, the touchdown is still good. So it was 26-0 Miller. And And now Christian Torres on to kick the point after, the left-footed kicker. And the kick is up. And we get another point after here for the Miller Buccaneers. And a 27-0 lead for the Buccaneers. Very surprising start to this game. 7:58 to go here in this third quarter. Miller up big. $7:58 to play in this third quarter. And the Miller Buccaneers smothering the Eagles right now, 27-0 here on Game Night South Texas Week 1. And Larissa, you used the word surprised earlier. I wasn't quite there yet. I'm there now.
Yeah, you know, like you said, Veterans Memorial they haven't been able to punch it in. This game has been a lot closer in the past. You know, now I'm not as surprised, at least on Miller's end, because I thought Miller bringing so many players back, they're really explosive, that it would be a little bit of a higher scoring game in favor of Miller. I thought Veterans Memorial, of course, would be on the board, but one thing I will say I was also surprised about is I hadn't seen a passing touchdown yet. So at least there, you know, inside the red zone, it was a tough challenge. Gave it to Ethan Vela, who has clearly been the top target so far for Trevor Long this season.
Now we'll see if the Eagles can muster something together offensively. There's still plenty of time left in this football game. 7:58 in the third quarter and a 27-0 lead. Here for the Buccaneers. And kickoff a bit short on it. And here comes the return. And get to about the 35-yard line there.
If I had $1, I was going to say every time Derek Gray got the kick, that was definitely Miller's strategy. Kick it to Derek Gray, kick it to the left side, and that's what they've been doing all night long in special teams. I believe he's in the backfield normally with C.J. Perry, which again, like I said, he's a talented basketball player, very elusive, he's athletic, and that's one of the reasons why you probably don't want to kick to him. Veterans Memorial definitely talking about Billy White we have multiple times. Again, C.J. Perry, they have a very good basketball team that's coming back this year. And so it's interesting seeing how many of those guys are playing both sports. And again, with Billy White, we've mentioned him a couple times. You know, he's got some really good offers in the SEC and Big 12. So definitely see him focusing on basketball.
A lot of interest in him nationwide. And another big wrap up there. Charleboy, the ball carrier, and could not go anywhere.
Can I say LaMarcus Cullum again?
Why not?
LaMarcus Cullum getting in the backfield. You know, he's one of their Miller leaders out there. I got video of him in two-a-days. And, you know, leading the Bucks chant. He's the pride and joy of that defense, and he is their heart and soul, and that's why he's getting back there. He's showing the guys what it takes to, again, try to make it in playoffs and make it further. And they're in UIL 5A Division II, which, while that is, you know, lower than D1, I don't think it's much easier.
No.
That's very tough.
Certainly not. Cullum, 23 tackles for a loss last season, 146 tackles. He was the co-defensive player of the year in the district. So you kept mentioning his name as we have a penalty marker down on the field on his 2nd and 13 play. Penalty going against the Eagles here. As, you know, we've kind of talked a lot about the Miller offense and their offensive stars there, but you can't talk about that Miller team as a whole and what their potential could be without talking about their defense, and Cullum a huge part of that.
Exactly, and they've got so many guys around him. But Golem, again, he's just a big factor out there. And sometimes you see Roderick Taylor out there. I heard he was going to be playing both ways this year. I don't see him out there right now, but they have a very good group up front.
So, 2nd and a mile here for the Eagles. Endress back to pass, backpedaling the entire time, caught throwing off his back foot there. Dangerous throw.
Cullum putting both hands in his face, forcing him back there. And I forgot, I didn't see the other number, but he had a teammate out there that forced him out of the pocket first, and then Cullum went in for the attack.
He was looking for Perry over the middle there, and the pass falls incomplete, and they have just been on fire, bursting through that offensive line and creating that pressure on Endress or whoever's in that offensive backfield for the Eagles.
And we didn't see that game plan early in that first drive. We didn't see them blitzing, and now I think they know, hey, it's working. Let's just keep doing it till it stops.
Haven't been able to stop it just yet. 4 receivers here. It is Charleboy as the running back. And again, here it comes. They keep swarming him, forcing him out. Endress fires and just throws that one into the turf, incomplete. Just absolutely nowhere to go.
That time it was George Simmons, number 9, and number 44, Steven Richardson, both seniors on the attack. Again, all these names I'm saying, they have a very senior-led group. LaMarcus Cullum, George Simmons, Steve Richardson, all seniors on this defense with plenty of experience, plenty of playoff experience, and they're finding what works for them. In this case, that's attacking.
Ethan Vela back deep to receive the punt here. We'll get pretty good field position here for the Buccaneers, already up 27-0 on the Eagles. And again, Miller has definitely not let up. Had some trouble with the long snapping in this game too, as that one's going to bounce past the 40-yard line. It's going to keep bouncing until just before it goes out of bounds. So no return here, but again, good field position here for the Bucs as they'll have it from the 39-yard line.
You know, like you said, tough snapping back there, but I'll say on that one, I think earlier he kicked it out of bounds. That was at least a nice, straight, good kick there. So working out the kinks there. I kind of was interested to see Ethan Vela. We've seen how shifty he is, but I haven't seen him get that opportunity with that punt return yet. So just curious what he can do back there. And again, talking about their schedule, they'll have the likes of DeSoto. And don't forget sitting in our area. That will be a tough matchup. And I believe that's Miller's homecoming.
Cuero, Seguin, DeSoto on that Miller schedule. They're scheduling tough because they know it's going to get tough late in the game for them. And that one's just going to get thrown away here from Trevor Long.
Trevor Long had all day to throw, but you got to give credit to the Veterans Memorial's defensive backs up against some tough receivers, and they could not get open that play. But there is some laundry on the field, and Miller's trying to fight it. It looks like it might be Devin Cage arguing his case. This one's going to be against the Miller Buccaneers. Trevor Long trying to get his O-line back in the huddle.
So we'll hear from John Corona. Haven't gotten the signal just yet. It is, in fact, a holding call against the Bucs. Here are the rest of our officials. Horacio Lomas, Michael Hernandez, Billy McClendon, Earl Cronus, Oscar Benavides, and Howard Schauer are the officials for this game tonight.
Miller's got a long first down, 1st and 20.
It said 1st and a mile earlier for the Eagles. This one's even further than that. 1st down and 20. Pass into the flats, Taylor. And boy, he does a good job on those screens. Gets across the 35 and very, very close to back to the original line of scrimmage. He got all the way to about the 38-yard line.
Good patience by Trevor Long. Again, this is his 2nd year as the starting quarterback. He split it his sophomore season, but he had composure and waited for Broderick Taylor to find that opening.
4 receivers here for Long. Looking, firing, got a man left side, kind of underthrown. It was caught by the defender there. I saw the number 4.
Charles
Perry, but he was out of bounds.
That was some good coverage there. You know, Trevor was going for the double coverage. It was going to be a tough shot. It was going to be a receiver. We haven't said his name very often. He was looking for Jayam Cook.
Now I know I've had a trouble finding Charles Perry's number because he was listed initially as 17 at the start of the week, now wearing number 4 for the Eagles. As Long is back to pass, rolling to his left, looking, here comes the rush, fires over the middle. Oh, Vela was right there. And
Carlo Torres, a sophomore, again, a very young Veterans World team.
Yeah.
He was attacking and pressuring Trevor Long. Trevor had a lot of time, but by the time Torres got out there, he had to get rid of it. And again, I don't know what they changed at halftime, but Bittner is really working on getting his defensive backs to shut down these receivers. It makes you wonder, are they going to try Corey Holmes again at running back later in this half?
Well, there's certainly been an adjustment after those first 2 scores. Now, that's got to get some confidence boosted for the entire Eagles sidelines. Hey, we just got a defensive stop. Now let's turn this into something. So 4th down and 12 as they will punt the football away here. And they'll end up a pretty decent field position, you would think, because that one's up in the air. Here's Perry, takes a hit low and able to gain positive yardage after the hit to about the 45-yard line. So again, really nice field position here for the Eagles, and see if they can turn this into something. Again, we talked about this already, that they were right on the doorstep on their opening drive of putting 6 points up on the board. It was a Enders interception that kind of stalled that drive. They were deep inside Miller territory, but they haven't been able to duplicate that strong offensive start.
This is some of the best yardage they've had to start their drive all game, so hoping they can capitalize, and just so we can see some momentum with veterans and more. Like you said, that has to be a huge confidence boost by that defense there.
5:33 to play in this 3rd quarter, 27-0 lead for Miller. Veterans getting shut out. Enders looking, fires right side, and the pass is complete. Derek Gray down the sideline, gets the 1st down and more inside the 40 and just shy of the 35-yard line.
Gray is very quick. He's very athletic. Again, it hasn't been one of the names that we've seen a lot, but he's very elusive on that sideline. I think Veterans Memorial has had better success when they attack on that sideline, whether it's the near side or the far side. So I want to see more of that.
Hey guys, yeah, at the beginning of the game I talked about how the line warfare was going to be the key to this game, and actually it's been on both sides that we're seeing a lot of physicality, and Miller has just been dominating both sides of that. Trevor Long on Miller's side is getting a lot of time to throw, while Idris on Vet's side is getting flushed out of the pocket every single time, and the O-line is just being terrorized. That's why we're seeing this difference right now in a 27-0 score.
That was the voice of Iran Hammy. Thanks, Iran.
That right there was the name we've just been saying again lately. Number 7 there, Derek Gray. He's going to be the target on this drive that's making the difference. Earlier it was Charlotte Boyd, now it's Derek Gray. And that's a 1st down, precision air 1st down.
So with 5:18 to play in this 3rd quarter, this is the first real strong start of a drive offensively for the Eagles since really the start of the game. Hand off to Charleboy. Up the middle he goes. Gets towards the red zone, and he's inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. So some good gain right there. Man, a gain of about 8 yards. Be 2nd down and 2.
Imagine they're going to give it to Charlotte Boy on this 2nd and 2, and wanting to see how much energy he has, because he's been grounding and pounding as much as he can all season. Miller has a great offensive front, as we've seen that, but you know, 2nd down, that was a big chunk of yards gained, and here they go. Let's see if they can get that 1st down.
2nd down and 2 from the 19. Enders passes right side on the screen and hit immediately. So not much there.
It's like Miller heard me. I said Vets has been doing a good job on the sidelines, and they've seen it too, so now they hit him really hard.
Again, Gray picking up the reception there.
And despite being down 27-0, like you said earlier, Veterans Memorial is still taking their time. They're being cautious. They're not trying to rush. That's what their game plan was, and they're sticking to it.
Handoff to Charlebois. Hit after crossing the 19. Needed to get to the 17. Gets just close to it. In fact, he does. Picks up the first down as they move the chains.
Another precision air first down. Just inside the red zone for the Veterans Memorial Eagles. C.J. Perry comes back in the game for the Eagles. 3 receivers lined up on this near side. You'd imagine with 1st and 10 they might try to go for the pass, but if you look on this near side on defense, Miller's Roderick Taylor, who goes both ways, he's up against C.J. Perry and Isaiah Early.
Endress trying to escape again, tripped up as he throws the ball, ends up throwing it into the sideline.
Jonah Stafford nearly got the sack on that one.
Just dynamite pass rush right now for this Buccaneer defense.
You got to give Noah Endress credit. You know, he's trying to find an open man. He's not giving up on the play, but he's trying to make it work. And it's too late, but he's trying to make it work and give his guys a chance.
2nd down and 10 from the 17.
Now he's got his 3 receivers on the far side. Oh, but they're in motion.
Endress rolls left, fires immediately, and there was some traffic in front, and that one's going to get intercepted. Braden Rhodes, I should say, had his hands up in the air and actually deflected the ball. I think he thought it might have been going to him, and the ball was actually intended for a different receiver. We're going to need to take another look at that if we can.
But first, that's an Ewald Kubota turnover for the Miller Buccaneers. A 3rd turnover, and one of them leading to a touchdown. Here's that Miracle Method instant replay. Here you go.
And take a look here. After Endress fires, again, that ball was deflected, and it actually bounced off the shoulder pads of Roderick Taylor and went up in the air before it resulted in the interception. But again, that was kind of one of those tough luck interceptions on Endress' part. That's his 3rd pick of the game.
And I got to give credit to Khalil Davis. That's his 2nd interception.
Holmes on the carry here as Veterans once again stymied from getting into the end zone on what looked like a pretty nice drive, but could not finish it off. After a 9-yard pickup here on 2nd and 1, once again it's Holmes on the carry. You know, I know it's early, and we still got a lot of football left to be played.
Yes.
But this Corpus Christi Veterans team, in their history, they've been around since
not very long.
2016, I believe, was their first varsity year.
Yes.
I'm trying to go back in their history. They made the playoffs every single year of their history. I don't know, and we're taking a look at it, if they've ever been shut out.
That is a good question.
It's a danger that's a little less than 14 minutes away. After another first down here for Miller, they have not taken their foot off the gas pedal. Pass into the flat is complete to Taylor. Finds some room down the sidelines, able to stay in bounds after taking that initial hit, and gets near the 40-yard line.
That's a precision air first down. Roderick Taylor, not the biggest guy out there. I mean, he's tall, but he's not going to normally do what he just did, and he ran that Eagle over. He wanted that first down, and he was not going to be stopped. Roderick Taylor, just a junior receiver for the Bucs. And this time it's his brother Broderick.
Broderick on the handoff here and gets kind of caught up in the backfield. Player lost his bucket on the Miller side on the offensive line. He'll come off the field. It is number 75, Homero Gomez. He'll have to come out for one play.
But Miller's starting to finally figure things out. And, you know, not to knock on wood, but I haven't seen a penalty lately, so they've probably worked out a few of those kinks.
Handoff. Again, Taylor takes a hit, picks up the first down and more, just keeps those legs churning, gets across midfield to the 49-yard line of the Eagles.
When he's got a little room to run, he takes advantage of it. It doesn't matter how big the gap, but he does take advantage of it. He is great up the middle. Corey Holmes is great on the outside. They've got two different dynamic running backs that they can use, and they've used both in this game.
Long, lets it fly. A little bit too far that time.
That's twice now Roderick Taylor he's targeted, and he's been double teamed. The Eagles in the past have been known to be ball hawks, so they're doing a great job of keeping it. They haven't allowed many long passes from Miller tonight, which is what Miller does a good job of. But with a guy like Broderick Taylor, they're more balanced this year, that's for sure.
On 2nd and 10, little bubble screen left side.
High steps out of that tackle. That's Roderick Taylor.
Keeps it going to the end zone. Touchdown. Bucks strike again one more time. It's Roderick Taylor. It's been the Taylor brothers pretty much all night long.
And that is an Aztec Auto Group of Beeville touchdown. I believe that one was 52 yards for Roderick Taylor. Just like you said, a great night for the Taylor brothers. Again, Roderick's a junior, Broderick's a senior.
And it's now 33-0, Bucks over the Eagles, with 8 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Christian Torres on for the point after. That one looks good. 34-0 our score with 8 seconds remaining in this third quarter here on Game Night South Texas. And it's been a dominating performance here for the Miller Buccaneers. Didn't start that way in the first 8 minutes of the game, but after that point, they just kept their foot on the gas pedal and have never let up.
And you know, it's not like I don't know if they've really changed anything other than not having the penalties, because they've stayed balanced all game. They haven't really switched over to, oh, we're going to run more this drive, or we're going to pass more. They've really stayed balanced. And like you said, the Taylor brothers have done a fantastic job. I want to watch that replay of Roderick Taylor. I want to see that high step again. Miracle Method making that happen for us. Again, Roderick Taylor, like you said, it was a bubble screen. He got an opening. Devin Cage, that O-lineman, he always breaks open gaps, and here's the high step on his way in. And Roderick Taylor, just very elusive, very fast, turns on the jets and gets that diving touchdown.
They might have gotten away with a block to the back there along the way, but nevertheless gotten into the end zone for points again. Another Taylor brother. Just an absolute tremendous offensive performance from both Roderick and Broderick. And when you look at the way this season could potentially shape up, those two brothers are going to be making a massive impact here in the Coastal Bend this year.
And they really needed to. While they didn't graduate many of their players, 2 years ago, Lonnie Atkins, who is now at Sam Houston State, was their top receiver. And they call Miller wide receiver U for a reason. So they needed a guy to step up, and Roderick has been that guy. Lister, one of their other guys last year, graduated last year, so it's great seeing people step up.
It's Isaiah early on the return here for the Eagles that, again, have just kind of looked listless on offense, as that's going to do it for the third quarter. Teams will switch sides one more time. 12 minutes left in this one. Back in a moment here on Game Night South Texas. back here at Buccaneers Stadium, and the Corpus Christi Miller Buccaneers continue to put a stranglehold on the Eagles. 34-0, and again, a lot of eyeballs were going to be on this kind of showcase game. It was going to be a non-district game. What a way to kick off the season, this rivalry that had been really kind of dominated by Corpus Christi veterans through the years in their previous 10 matchups. And right now, Miller's saying, nope, it's our turn.
Exactly. You know, just not too long ago, before I got here in 2019, this was the game that people watched in district, and this was the game people had to watch again in playoffs, because that's just how talented both of these teams are. Now, it will be interesting with the new district, like you said, some Valley teams that have definitely put on a good show in recent years in this district, as well as the Flower Bluff Hornets, who made a very deep playoff run as well last year with their top quarterback, Jaden Pelucio, and a Vanderbilt receiver on that Flower Bluff roster as well. So they've got a lot of talent with Cameron Dixon. So it's going to be a very tough district. Veterans Memorial at second down and second and long.
And a pass into the flats here, and it's complete to Braden Rhodes. So I've had our crack statistical crew look this up. My crack statistical crew is my buddy over at the paper, and Quentin Martinez. 21-0 was the only time that Veterans Memorial has been shut out in their history. It was September 20th, 2019 against Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. It's the only time it's happened.
And that's the team in their district this year.
Memorial history. The only shutout ever, and right now we're 11 minutes away from it happening for a second time.
And that is a precision air first down. So they're looking good on this drive. Again, I think they just need to stay calm. They don't need to be going for the big plays. Just get a chunky yardage each way. Charlevoix, again, is in the backfield, getting some yards. But I haven't heard Rhodes a lot in this game. He just got that pass earlier. I think if they do a good job of sprinkling it around, getting everybody the ball, they have a chance to march it down the field.
So, Veterans just trying to get some points on the board. Here's Endress, fires left side, and that pass is intercepted. Fourth pick of the game for Endress. And here come on the return. We get a lateral here.
Wow, he passed it back. That was number 22 to number 8. Donovan Christian to Jonas Stafford, and he's just stopped short of the end zone. That is a Ewald Kubota interception turnover.
What a play defensively, and for all that Miller has been doing in this game today offensively, especially from the Taylor brothers, the fact that they've been able to force 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, and a fumble recovery, they've been getting it done on both sides of the ball. This is a near perfect game for the Miller Bucks.
You know, if you looked at MVP, I think you'd almost have to give it to this defense. I know it says 34-0, but that is in part to that Miller Bucks defense. And I bet you inside the 5, who's going to be eager to be getting that ball. But Justin Evans not happy. One of their players having to walk off the field. I believe they had 12 men on the field.
Now Justin Long looking to finish this drive, or pardon me, Trevor Long looking to finish this drive off. First and goal from the 3-yard line for the Miller Buccaneers.
Taking their time on this one. Miller's been a little bit faster paced, but you see the coaches yelling on that far sideline. It's pretty loud in here with these bands. The bands are doing their part. But, oh, nope, now they're having to go back to the coaching staff. They just are not getting that play in. And, you know, when it's first down, I know you have some more downs to go, but inside the 5, you got to get it right.
The timeout taken here with 10-11 to play in regulation. A 34-0 lead for the Miller Bucks.
Ron Hammy is down on the sideline. Let's see what he sees there.
Yeah, guys, as you can imagine, the mood has really shifted here on the Veterans Memorial sideline. You know, they tried to keep the energy up, even 34 down, but it's starting to feel a little deflating on the sidelines. We've been hearing the Miller players start chirping over to the sidelines for a while now through the second half. They kind of know they have this one in the bag, and we haven't seen anything like this in the rivalry game in quite some time, I think, guys.
Yeah, Ron, this rivalry has been one-sided maybe on the record for a while by Veterans Memorial, but the games have not played out that way, especially lately. These two teams have been very, very, very good. Even last year's game, which looked lopsided at the end, was very close throughout. First and third quarter is long, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Quarterback keeper, and he made that look easy. We loved the bow that he did there at the end. Loved the celebration there. But the O-linemen doing their job, making it easy for the senior quarterback. I believe he's 6'2". He's actually second in his class. He's a salutatorian at Miller High School, Trevor Long. And that is a touchdown. Aztec Auto Group of Beeville.
Coming up for the point after. It's up and it's good. 10:06 to play here in regulation, and Miller up 41-0 on the Eagles of Veterans Memorial. We'll step aside. Dominant performance here for the Bucks on Game Night South Texas.
Welcome back to Game Night South Texas. There's been a lot of big hits in this game, and I think it's time for our big hit of the game from King Ranch Ag and Turf. I tell you what, that gear is a big hit anytime you're a farmer. But check this out. Broderick Taylor was hard to stop, and Veterans Memorial did stop him early. I mean, that was a critical touchdown. Got to give credit. I know number 15, Robert Ponce, was in there. Tough to stop Broderick Taylor, and that was an almost touchdown. So got to give the big hit to Veterans Memorial. Now we're on the kick return, back in it with 10 minutes left in this ball game.
A 41-0 lead for the Miller Buccaneers. And again, only one time have the Eagles been shut out in their history. That was back to 2019 against another crosstown opponent in Flower Bluff. And you can bet that this is not sitting well with these Veterans Memorial fans. Considering, again, no stakes in this game. It's a non-district game. It's a week one game. You're not going to show everything that you got. You're still tinkering. You got to work in a new quarterback that you didn't expect to be your quarterback in the summer. I'm not making excuses for the Eagles, but I'm just laying out the circumstances that it's going to take time to get this team where it should be talent-wise.
And unfortunately, they don't have as much time as Miller because their district is so big. They've got one more non-district game, and then that district schedule is going to kick into high gear for the Eagles.
Yeah, you mentioned the size of that district. It has 9 teams in it. You mentioned Flower Bluff is one of those opponents. Again, a penalty marker down here. And then, again, you're in with all those Valley schools, PSG North, Harlingen South, Wesco East, PSG Memorial, Donna North, and Brownsville Rivera. And again, you've got some teams that are used to being in the playoffs. PSG North, they're another team that's lost a lot from teams that have made deep playoff runs the last 3 seasons. All of that team, they remember they had 21 to 22 starters back last year. You got to think now they've got one starter back going into this coming season, but they're always retooling. In fact, they actually won as we got a big hit in the offensive backfield.
I think I want to change my mind for the King Ranch Ag and Turf big hit. That one right there.
You want a do-over.
Gosh, Miller has been great up front, and you know now's the time to take advantage deep in your own inside the 5, the red zone. It's going to be tough to get out of it. If Veterans Memorial can break out of the red zone, that you have to say that's a positive in this game.
Yeah.
Take this as a challenge. Say we need put us in a playoff situation. We need to get out of the red zone.
Charles Williams in on the hit there, by the way, for Miller. 9:23 to go and counting, and they are deep inside their own territory are the Eagles. Endress still in at quarterback here for Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Any thoughts on whether Winans should get a series or two here late in the game? If Winans, the backup?
I heard that he has done well at practice, and again, like you said, I went 2 days ago. I went to two-a-days, and he didn't want to tell me who was the starting quarterback, so it would be nice to get some reps there. But I have to give a shout-out to my cheerleaders on both sides because they helped me do a special job early in this game. Rally Credit Union has our rally towels every game. Both teams get some rally towels. The cheerleaders help me out. I need to post those photos, so if you are a cheerleading parent, watch out for those on my Facebook page because those ladies do a great job every game. And, you know, going back to our question about the quarterback, I think maybe you almost need to give him a chance. Again, if the quarterback battle was that tough, and it's not going to hurt the other quarterback by saying, hey, you know, you're doing bad. No, just see who has a feel for it.
To your point earlier, you have a 9-team district. That means you have 8 district games, meaning you only have one more non-district game to play. Now, the theory could be to let him finish this game, try the other guy for week 2, and maybe you see how things work in practice after that. But at this point, Noah Endress has shown some really strong things. Again, I would say at least 2 of the picks have not been necessarily his fault, including the last one, which was off a deflection of a defender's shoulder pad. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out with Veterans Memorial. But again, it's a very different place that the Eagles have been trying to tinker and retool at this stage of the season.
And Ben Bittner, I know he talks about reloading. This Veterans Memorial team does a good job reloading, and it's tough when you have so many new starters, so many that don't have the experience that this Miller team has. These guys, they've said, like you said, that 944 is their slogan. They remember, they all remember, they were all on that team, and it drives them.
Handoff here on 3rd down. Just kind of ticking some clock off at this point. Charleboy, the ball carrier again. Bring up 4th down, and the punting unit will come on here for Veterans Memorial.
Stop made by number 9, brings up 4th down.
Well, good field position for Ethan Vela for Miller. And again, I don't know if we've seen him return it. The first punt was out of bounds. One of the more recent punts was a little short, so he couldn't pick it up. I just want to see what he does when he's able to grab that ball.
On 4th and 14 from their own end zone. That one not going to get very high. It's going to take a bounce at about the 25 and go out of bounds over near the 34, 35-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. I'll give them the 34. So that's where the Miller offense will take over, already up 41-0 with 7:38 to play in the football game.
So we've seen Miller run the ball very well. We've seen that O-line step up. But one thing I want to see is can they do the deep pass. But thank you again, Thomas J. Henry. Without you, we could not do our Game Night South Texas. And speaking of Thomas J. Henry, make sure you tune into the Friday Night Fever on Friday night. They're also our sponsor with their Game of the Week trophy. Who's going to win it in the Battle of the Wildcats? Cal Allen versus Gregory Portland. And this one is in Cal Allen at Phil Danaher Stadium, 7 p.m. kickoff.
Handoff to Taylor on 1st down. You can bet they'll keep the ball on the ground here the rest of the way as Broderick Taylor picks up a nice chunk of yard, a good about 4-yard pickup there at the 30.
thanks to Thomas J. Henry, we actually have 9 games this season for Game Night South Texas. I was struggling getting that 10th win this year, but next year I'll have 10. But one of the games I'm really excited about is next week as well. We have Orange Grove, who has one of our top quarterbacks, for seniors at least, for our Chris Super 6 showcase for Orange Grove. And he's going to be in Beeville, and Beeville's one of those stout teams that loves to run the ball. But they have a new head coach this year, and Coach Holmgreen, so it'll be interesting to see how that changes the dynamic.
And off to Taylor. Gets inside the 30.
Just chipping away at that clock right now. But, you know, you've got not a short third down here, so are you going to hand it off to Broderick, throw the short pass? But at this point, Miller's just chipping away at the clock and up 41-0. Again, like I mentioned earlier in this game, Trevor Long, it's his second year as a starting quarterback. 2 years ago, he split time with Jaden Brown, who is a very solid quarterback, but a great athlete. So last year he played receiver.
Pass complete on that left side. Christian Torres, the receiver. Gonna be just shy of the first down marker.
Stop made by number 10.
We'll bring up fourth down here, about 4th and maybe 2.5.
Broderick Taylor staying on the field in the backfield. Near side, you have Roderick Taylor. Far side, Corey Holmes and Ethan Vela. So many options.
4th down and 2. And we get a penalty come out just before the snap.
And looking at the reaction from Roderick Taylor, that one's on the Miller Buccaneers.
False start penalty. We'll move it back 5 yards. So it goes from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7. Don't know if this is going to change much. I think they're still going to run an offensive play here.
You know, with the stacked schedule Miller has, you have to put yourself to the test. You've got to see, hey, you know, act like this isn't a 41-0 game. Get that first down.
Long, looking long, firing deep to the end zone, giving maximum effort. There was Vela, just a little bit too far out of his reach, incomplete, and a little turnover on downs.
Good play. I mean, Vela was able to beat the defense, but like you said, just a little bit too long. Miller trying to stay on the field, but Veterans Memorial, a good stop there, forcing that turnover. And let's talk about, if you haven't seen it, I mentioned it a couple times, our Chris Super 6 showcase. We had a poll on our combine, and here is our winner. You voted, and you voted for Refugio's Keelan Brown. Again, the Bobcats are in UIL 2A Division I. They are ranked number 2 in the preseason behind their former district foe, Ganado. Congratulations to Keelan Brown. I know he has an offer from Texas A&M Kingsville, so the future is bright for this quarterback.
Furio, always in the mix year in and year out. Looking forward to seeing how their season transpires. Handoff here is Charleboy.
Made a man miss in the backfield, so he could have been tackled for loss, but able to get some good chunky yardage there.
I want to reemphasize, his name is Andrew Charleboy. His last name is Charleboy. It's not, we're not saying his name is like Charlie Boy. What a name. Had a chance to talk with one of his family members. I wanted to get the pronunciation of Charleboy right. And he said, yeah, it's Charleboy. So I had him say it a couple of times just to make sure. And I think, you know, you've been talking about this throughout the game, is what confidence they have in a sophomore to be able to carry the load as much as he's had in this game.
And I think that's what you have to do. You know, this might look a little tougher for fans this year, more of a rebuilding than a reloading.
Endress goes off and runs it on the quarterback draw play after the fake. Little RPO action there.
Getting these guys that experience early, thinking about this year, of course, but also thinking about the future of this program and where you can build, and Charleboy's going to be one of your backs for a long time.
4:24 to play in this one, but they do pick up a first down offensively, and that's good to see for this Eagle offense.
I will say, looking at Miller's defensive backs, those are not the starters they had from the get-go, so this is probably their second string in right now with 4 minutes left in this game.
Now let's see if the second string unit knows what's on the line here in terms of, there's only been one shutout in Veterans Memorial history. Let's see if they can finish the shutout, but right now Charleboy is off and running and was nearly the victim of a horse collar tackle there. Getting his hands kind of in the mix there was Christian Shelton. He got his hands on the collar there of Charlebois, but no flag comes out. About a 4-yard pickup. Be second down and 6.
What's always interesting about Buccaneer Stadium is, you know, usually our press box is on the home side, but we're on the theoretically the away side because Miller likes to be closest to their school, and you can, you know, we've talked about it earlier around halftime. You can definitely tell the mood has changed with the fans. They're not as loud, but again, nothing. The scoreboard looks rough, but there have been great positive notes that we have seen from the quarterback. Again, he ran the ball a couple plays ago. They're not afraid. I think that's the thing for me. They're not afraid to try those trick plays and to change it up.
Endress. Bubble screen action pass right side to Perry and gets across midfield here. And is going to be right at midfield, in fact, is where they spot it. So it'll be third down and about 3 to go.
They've got the size on the line. They have athleticism. Again, losing their top 2 receivers that also play defensive back, that hurt them a little bit, but they have guys that can step up. They just got to keep that confidence going. Don't let this game against Miller, this is just a test. Like you said, week 1, testing everything out.
Third down and 3. Ball at midfield here with just over 3 minutes to play. As veterans trying to get some points on the board to avoid a shutout. Charlebois with the handoff and takes it left side. It's going to be just shy of the marker, it looks like. And nope, they're going to give him a first down. I thought he was very shy.
That is a precision air first down.
Just gave it to him as they're at the 47-yard line. So first down here with 2:40 to play. 41-0. Miller over the Eagles. Endress. Handoff to Charlebois. Off and running, takes a hit, keeps it going across the 30, across the 20. He's off to the races. He's into the end zone. No shutout for the Eagles. Touchdown, Veterans.
And that is a Aztec Auto Group of Beeville touchdown. You know, again, one of those names, you've said it all night, is Charlebois. They have to think positive. And that he is definitely a young guy you've got to build your team around.
47 yards to the house for the touchdown as the Eagles finally able to finish an offensive drive. Remember the very first drive, they got all the way to the doorstep of the end zone and weren't able to get in. There was a late interception on that drive. And then here on what could be their final drive of the game, they do finally finish it off and get in the end zone. We await the point after, and there's a player hunched over at the moment on the Eagle huddle. Appears timeout's been taken. As it looks like Charlebois slow to come off the field here. 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in this one. Veterans makes it 41-6, pending the point after here.
Our game next week is Beeville versus Orange Grove. This one's in Orange Grove. The Bulldogs hosting the Trojans. Should be a fun one. Beeville is at 4A. Orange Grove wasn't higher, but they dropped down to 3A. What's interesting about Orange Grove is they're another team with a new head coach, Jared Johnson, a 1991 alum. But again, Dave Holmgren for Beeville. They've got 2 new head coaches, and excited to see what these 2 teams can do next Thursday on KDF at 7 p.m.
So Carmona in for the point after here with 2:09 to play, and that one is up, and it is good. 2:09 to play here in regulation, and it's Miller up on Veterans, 41-7. We will step aside here on Game Night South Texas.
Welcome back to Game Night South Texas. Like you said, Veterans Memorial is not going to get shut out today. The score is 41-7 with 2:09 left in this game. A non-district matchup to kick off the season between two CCISD rivals.
41-7, kind of a surprising outcome, but both these teams certainly should be in the mix in their respective districts once we get to that point, and that one's coming sooner rather than later for that of Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Eagles avoid the shutout. Only happened once in their school's history, and it'll stay that way as we get a return here from Vela. .203 to go in this one, 41-7. We'll see what Miller decides to do with this, what potentially could be their final drive of the game. I want to thank our crew for this game. Sean Manning, our director. Isaac Huerta, our replay operator. Graphics back at Mission Control, Eddie Ramirez. Dale Luke. Brian Thacker, our engineers on site. Get a handoff here on first down. So thank our camera operators, Will Schutz, Justin Shirley, Victoria Valderrama, Ralph Tobias, of course our director back in the studio, Cody King. And of course our crew up here, myself, Alex Subario, Larissa Liska, and of course Ron Hami on the sidelines. And it all could not happen without our producer extraordinaire, Jaime Saiz. Thanks to all of them and everyone at Chris 6, helping us put on Game Night South Texas here on this first Thursday of the high school football season. Handoff here on second down.
A new running back there for the Miller Buccaneers. The Bucks taking their time. The clock went all the way down to 5 seconds. That's number 35 for Miller. Isaiah Alvarez, a sophomore running back.
Chance to see some of the youngsters.
You know, I wasn't sure if we'd see Trevor Long out, and Trevor Long is still in there with less than a minute to go, but I have heard that the Miller Buccaneers have a very good freshman backup quarterback. So recently, Miller's found a way to reload and keep their quarterbacks strong and ready to go.
That's what you want. You want quarterbacks with experience. So going to hand off here on third down. And look at him off to the races. Across the 45. You mentioned him already in Isaiah Alvarez. He gets across midfield here. No penalty markers down. And he's inside Veterans territory. There is a penalty marker down just over by the spot where he was taken out of bounds. We'll see who this is on. Looks like it might be tacked on. And the chain crew ready to move forward. Go back to John Corona, our official. And it is a holding call against Miller. So this one is coming back. I think there was a little bit of confusion on the field. Now the hold, where the hold occurred after the first down. So it's a first down over the 40, and we'll get a kneel down here from Long. And we will tick it down to the final seconds, and that's going to do it here from Buccaneer Stadium as the Miller Bucks. 9:44 is their mantra. Thinking about last season's loss in the regional final. And they start their 2024 season off with a bang, an impressive, dominating win over their rival Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial, 41-7 the final.
It looked a little slow early first drive, but wow, they came alive, and it started with that Miller Buccaneer defense. Justin Evans, the head coach for the Miller Buccaneers, very excited. You know, there's the Miller Bucks players right there. They're very happy to start it off with a win.
Now when you look at what they were able to do on offense. Yes, they were impressive on offense, but on defense, forcing 5 turnovers. We total 4 interceptions and then a forced fumble recovery. Just a tremendous effort all the way around. And, you know, the touchdown came late. It was very, very close to being a shutout win by the Bucs. And, boy, if you're Coach Evans, you got to be impressed and thrilled with the way your team put together this win tonight.
Looking at Justin Evans down there, you know, everyone's shaking hands. And what's unique about these two teams is, while there is a rivalry, you know, it does look like a big battle. At the end of the day, a lot of these kids played together when they were young, you know, and that is a special moment here on the football field. We have a story that's airing tomorrow morning on our Sunrise show. A few of them even do Bible study together. It's something special that the Miller Buccaneers and Veterans Memorial Eagles share, and they continue that through football season.
There's only one loss last season for the Buccaneers, and it's one that is haunting them after having such a big lead over Brownsville Veterans and seeing it slip away. And that is their rallying cry here in 2024, 9:44. Amount of time left on the clock with that lead before giving it. So as we wrap it up here at Buccaneer Stadium, coming up next, your local news here on Chris 6 for our entire crew. Aran Hami, Larissa Liska, and everyone else involved with Game Night South Texas. My name is Alex Sobario. So long from Buccaneer Stadium. Your final score, Bucs win it 41-7 over Veterans Memorial.
Thomas J. Henry's Game Night South Texas is a presentation of Chris 6 News, presented by Thomas J. Henry.